back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me, can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. I am your host. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. We're kicking off and talking a little bit about girls sports today. We're going to be talking about some basketball. As you know, hoops, the region tournaments are happening right now. A little bit about wrestling. Traditionals, I believe, are this weekend. We're getting into some lacrosse, some soccer, and obviously my top 5 in the final segment, and talk about some big news, especially on the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic coming to flag football. So that will be the headliner for the third segment from Najeh's top 5. So appreciate everyone tuning in. But I want to highlight a player I think that's having a phenomenal season, and that's Asiah Thompson. She's only a freshman, but she does a bunch of things well, and I just love her attack mentality when it comes to the basketball court. She gets to the rim with ease. She's not waiting on the defense. And I think she's going to be a special player. And the thing about Kell is a lot of people ask, well, what are they going to be able to do this year, especially with losing so much of their talent they had last year, Crystal Henderson being one. She's at Georgia State now. But they have a lot of young talent. They've obviously had some veterans in there sprinkled in there too, but the young talent is what stands out to me. And Kendra Bailey, she's doing a great job with them. And I think they're going to be able to build on this season, no matter how it shapes out or how it finishes for them. I think she's going to have a lot to be able to take away, and Asiah Thompson is one of them. So without further ado, let's roll the tape. All right, so right here you see a strong rebound, finishing right there through contact. This one I love, just being at the right place, right time, finishing right off the glass. Here she gets a steal, easy money layup right there at the rim. Right here, same thing, boxing out her man, getting the and one bucket, just wanting it more. Love to see that. Right here, you're going to see a little bit of the quickness, getting to her spot, finishing through contact. Good move right there, and here she is. Just good move to the lane, knocking it down over the defense. Right here, good quick jab step, getting to her right hand. Nice move yet again. Right here, nobody picks her up. Easy layup right to the rim. Not waiting on the defense. Love her attack mindset, as I said. And then right here, what a phenomenal move. Just getting to the rim. Yet again, we instant replayed it. So look at the jab step. She right there. We can go play it back one more time as well, just to kind of break it down a little bit more. But as you can see, she catches right here on the outside, on the perimeter. So here it is, boom. So quick jab step. So you see how she has her defender leaning right there, which is an excellent jab step. It opens up the right side of the floor, and then once she gets past her, the second line of defense is going to come. She's going to be able to get through it right here. Boom, good move right there, and easy time layup. So great move, just using the jab step to kind of get free. You see it one more time. Boom, jab step, gets her, makes a nice move on the second line of defense. Easy money layup right off the glass. So great job right there, just creating space and getting to the rim. All right, same thing right here. Just in transition, get into the rim, good layup. And then right here, finishing through the contact. Big time layup yet again. And then right here, boom. Look at her go with the left hand. I just love the scoop, so we're going to slow this down as well. But look at her get. Again, she's not wasting no time. Catches it, goes with her left hand. Nice scoop layup against a taller defender. And easy money to the basket. So love that part of our game, too. She can finish with either hand, right or left. Same thing right here. Good little step right there in the lane through contact. Good finish yet again. And then here she is on the transition, the break. Good big time layup on the left hand. And then right here, just getting to a spot. Good Euro again, right to the basket. And then boom, as you see, she's one move, and then she's in her spot and she's taking a jumper. Same thing you see right there. Good float game right there. And then boom, here she is right here. Big time layup against the contact. And then and one bucket right there. And boom, love the scoop layup with the left hand. So like I said, she's ambidextrous. She can do both. Love that we slowed this one down as well. As you see right here to the spot. uses her left hand, kind of used the rim as her body, because she could have went up with the right. A lot of times you see people get blocked because they go with the right, but she uses the whole other side of the rim right there, just so the defender can't block it. So that is her tell of the tape, or that's her film breakdown. So was very impressed. You didn't see a lot of shooting in there, but just love the pressure she could put on the defense. That's very, very valuable, especially when it comes to big moments in the game. Her downhill ability, great dribble, good handle, and ability to finish around the rim with either hand, I think is very, very, important. So I love her game. I know she's going to have more growth as well. That was just a little bit of her tape, but just wanted to break it down and have been very impressed with her. She got second team all region this season, so she is stepping up big as a freshman for the Kell Longhorns. So wanted to give her a shout out. Some other major hoop news before we go to swimming. McNair pulled off a big time victory, 17-point deficit they faced against Eagles Landing Christian to punch their ticket to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. They ended up winning 42-40. McNair defeated Eagles Landing Christian twice in the regular season, but peep this, guys, they were trailing 24-7 at half, mostly due to 19 first half turnovers, and they shot only 2 for 16, 12.5%, but got a really good talk at halftime, and were able to kind of turn it around. They were able to come out kind of more intense on defense, and they got off to a 7-0 start, good 7-0 run to kind of start the second half, and then they were able to get a late drive from Keasia Clayton with 11 seconds to play in the third period, and they closed the gap. So that was their win. I thought that was big for them. I mean, clinching your first playoff berth in 20 years is no easy feat. So that was a big time. It was added the cab. So shout out to McNair for being able to rally back from 17, having a rough first half, but coming out and being able to get the victory. So that was big time for them. And then swimming, as you guys know, we had the big swimming results. I won't go through the whole thing. I know Craig touched a little bit on his show, but just a couple ones I wanted to highlight was the Brookwood girls. They win yet again. They won their first state championship in 5 years. They went back-to-back in 2018, 2019, and they won with a score of 493.5. They controlled the majority of the competition, winning by more than 136 points. So that is getting it done. And then in second was North Gwinnett with 357, and third was Walton with 291 points. Brookwood won team events such as 200-yard medley relay with a minute 46:10 time and 200-yard free relay with a 1:36:67 time. So they now have 8 state championships. Haley Dobson, who placed first in the 100-yard backstroke, she had a time of 54:75. Dobson also placed second with the 100-yard freestyle with a time of 51.15. And then repeating last year's events, Harrison's Isabella Kleinfelter won 2 of the events that she did a year ago. And as the season state championships conference, she won the 100 with the 49:68 time and 200-yard freestyle. And then 6A last year had a really good run yet again. They ended up winning the 200-yard medley relay with a 1:44:12 time, followed by Lakeside with a 1:47:62 time, and then Riverwood with a 1:48:98 time. Also had some key players finish big time in these events. So you go look at last year, they won the 200-yard free. Rose Jones placed first with a 1:51:42 time, so excellent job by her, followed by Brooke Murphy of Johns Creek with 1:51:64, and then Kaylin McClintock from Lakeside with 1:52:65. Last year also won the 100-yard fly. Kate Bradley was first with 55.23 time, nearly beating her. Second place by a minute. Let's see, they also won the 500-yard free. That was Kate Bradley coming in first with a 4:59:87 time, beating out Kaylin Borland of Roswell with 5:01:86. And then last year also came second in the 200-yard free relay with a 1:38:14 time. And then they also won the 100-yard back with Finley Jollins with a 54:66 time as well. And then they won the 400-yard free relay as well, so with a 3:30:23 time. So big time effort from the last year. The girls, they were led by Sophia Hook. She took first place in multiple events such as the 50-yard freestyle and the 100-yard freestyle. They nearly beat out the competition in both of those events by only a 1/10 of a point. So shout out to her for coming up big for a team and beating out some stellar competition. And then Kate Bradley also played a major role in their success. As I just mentioned, 500-yard freestyle, 4:59:87 time, and the 100-yard butterfly with the 55:23 time. So that was big for them. And then who also had a really, really good tournament, I thought, or a really good race, was Lakeside. They had a couple of their individual racers, like Lala Richards with 2:04.69 time, winning that 200-yard individual medley. They also won the 50-yard free from Sophia Hook as well. She did really, really good for them, 23:47 time. And then, let's see. So those were the top times. So shout out to them. And I mean, it was really, really intriguing what they were able to do in swimming, and big time by Brookwood and Lassiter to win it all. Also, some other big news, Kennesaw Mountains, Catherine Brooker, she officially signed with Georgia Tech Swim and Dive. She had a really good career there at Kennesaw Mountain, big time going on to Georgia Tech and being able to kind of, go and swim for them. So that was major for her. She had a really good career with Kennesaw Mountain. So shout out to her for her signing. As you guys all know, National Signing Day was about a week ago, last Wednesday. A lot of the other athletes and other sports signed as well. So just wanted to give her a shout out. Definitely not easy to get into tech, but she is doing her thing. So wanted to give her proper shout out as well. And then also wanted to shout out Mount Vernon Swim and Dive. They came third place overall in their meet in class 1 through 3A. Did a really good job, I thought, as well in the meet, winning a couple of them, couple of the races. So wanted to give them a shout out as well. They had a really good meet, came third place overall. All right, so we also got wrestling, as I mentioned, wrestling state championships this week. So some major storylines to watch. One is, obviously they had their last year's championship vacated. It is wide open. So Chestatee was supposed to win, but they got their championship vacated due to an ineligible wrestler. So they had to surrender their title. And just something you don't really see very often in the GHSA as well. But they did a really, really good job last year. They was up with 82 points. Carrollton came second with 52. Glimmer as well with 52, and then Jackson County with 44. So Carrollton's coming off a repeat championship at the team duels competition, and they enter in as the favorite. And you have Glimmer and Jackson County also return for a chance at the title. So those are the major ones to watch in the upcoming tournament this weekend as well. And then I also wanted to react. So we had, if you guys don't know, go to scoreacl.com. We have our rankings dropping. Mine are going to drop tomorrow officially, the lacrosse rankings for boys and girls. Some big-time matches we'll talk about a little bit later. But the girls' soccer rankings just dropped. So just wanted to quickly, obviously, react to that and talk a little bit about that. So some big-time defending state champions on the girls' side. Westminster in 4A, Oconee County in 3A, Fellowship Christian in 2A, and Aquinas in Class A Division 2. They're going to be interesting to watch. But so far in those rankings, who got number one spot in 7A was Buford. They're pretty much at the top of every single sport, seems like. But they're number one, followed by Harrison, North Gwinnett, Walton, Denmark. Norcross, who has a pretty good team this year, Lambert, Peachtree Ridge, West Forsyth, and Milton. And then 6A, rankings have Marist, Pope, Roswell, North Atlanta, Lassiter, Allatoona, Alexander, River Ridge, St. Pius, and then Blessed Trinity. Number 5, a team I think that's going to be one to watch is going to be Jefferson. They are number 1 in the rankings. They're followed by Northgate, McIntosh, who always has a really good team, Midtown, Chamblee, Greater Atlanta Christian, Cambridge, Northview, Decatur, and then Union Grove. Same thing, another really good team is Westminster. They are number 1 in the preseason or in the rankings so far. Followed by Lovett, North Oconee, Holly Innocence, Cherokee Bluff, Stars Mill, Pace Academy, Perry, Southeast Whitfield, and Stevenson as well. And then, let's see, in 3A, got Oconee County, Wesleyan, St. Vincent's, Lumpkin County, Bremen, Koala Creek, Columbus. They're going to be a team to watch as well. Dawson County, White County, Hebron Christian, and then Class 2A, Fellowship Christian, Callaway, Athens Academy, Mount Paran, Dodge County, Appleton County, H Charter, Model, Fitzgerald, and then Savannah Arts. And then Class A Division 1, Social Circle is number 1, followed by Mount Vernon, Whitefield Academy, Commerce, Padilla, East Lawrence, Bleckley County, Lamar County, Screven County, and then Atlanta International. And then Class A Division 2, Aquinas is number 1, Towns County, McIntosh County Academy, Atlanta Classical, Portal, Hawkinsville, Lake Oconee Academy, Mount Zion Carroll, Lincoln County, and Georgia Military. So those are the rankings. You can go to ScoreCL, get the full summary of it, but that just dropped today. So stay tuned for that. It is spring sports officially, as I said. The winter ones are winding down. Like I said, you have the big region tournaments and then playoffs for basketball. The wrestling is wrapping up, and swim and dive just wrapped up last week. So it is now time for soccer, lacrosse, obviously baseball. I think those are the three main ones. So those are the sports to watch. Should be very, very, very intriguing as well. But that's going to conclude for the first segment. We're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side for some more news.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
All right, welcome back. So we got some more soccer news, but I just want to talk about some of the leaders so far at the early start of the season, about 3 to 4 games in for most teams and most programs. But right now, leading in goal scoring right now is KJ Wells from Monroe area. She is followed by Jennifer Lopez Bautista from Gilmer and Elijah with 12 as well. So they are tied at the top. And then number 3 is A.B. Frazier from Stone Mountain High School. She has 11 goals so far this season in 3 games played, so that's very impressive. Followed by Silvana Davila from Trinity Christian in Sharpsburg, Georgia, and then Victoria Medellin, looks like Elbert County, with 9 goals. So those are the leaders so far in goals. Let's see who is leading in assists really quick as well. 1 second. All right, so leaders in assists, you got Kelsey Hinton of Sandy Creek. She has 7 right now, averaging about 1.7 per game. Then you have Joy Itson from Stone Mountain as well. So one of the top goal scorers and one of the top assist leaders as well. She has 6 so far this year, averaging about 2 a game, followed by Emerson Ref Schneider of Trinity Christian as well. And then you have Grace Scott with 5, and then Bailey Maroney as well from Thomasville. She has 5. So those are top goal and assist leaders. And then let's look at goal saves so far. This is a very crucial part as well. Sometimes scoring is a little bit slow. Looks like my thing went out. Okay, hold on. Let's look at it. All right, so far with saves, leader is Izzy Martinez of Luella. Reported 91 saves. That's a lot. Followed by Tanel Nunu Smith. She has 51 from Woodland Stockbridge, and then Jessica Joyner from Dodge County. She has 46, and then Camilla Ayala from Griffin. She has 38, followed by Claudeza Wims from Monroe, Albany with 32. So those are the top scorers or the top stats so far in the early soccer season. But player I wanted to kind of put notice to as well, and she is from Alexander. That's Emery Pitt. She plays for Georgia Soccer Academy. She's currently a freshman right now. The reason I bring her up, she just made the list of top drawer soccer as a top player, under 15 player to watch for. So right now Alexander is 2-1. She has a goal and 2 assists so far to start kind of her prep career. But interestingly enough, I wanted to bring up kind of just her bio and kind of what they had to say. Prep Soccer said about her. So it said Pitts is a forward, obviously on Georgia Soccer Academy ECNL team. She could play as a center forward, a support striker, a winger. She's one of the best players in this class with a high ceiling. She has unreal speed on game field. It often looks like she's moving at 1.5 speed compared to anyone else on the field. There's a part of me as a scout that believes Pitts could end up as the best outside back in the class. When she is pressing, she defends with the tenacity unrivaled at this level. For now, she's a forward who makes life difficult on the opposition and sets up golden chances for her team. So that was from Prep Soccer. No slight praise, very high praise for her. So I think she's going to be one to watch. Obviously, they have some really good scorers as well. Both are seniors, but she's a freshman. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of role she can kind of carve out with the team. But they're off to a great start. They're 2-1, lost their season opener, but have won the last 2 games, have won 2 of 3. So she's going to be one to watch as well. I think you'll see, as I said, with other sports, she'll probably start to get more of a defined role, probably mid to late season, especially with what she's able to do and how she can set up chances with assists and how she can score on her own too. I mean, those things are big in soccer. If you can create for yourself and then also set up chances and easy goals with assists, I mean, those are next level. So I think she's going to have a very, very bright future. She's going to be one to watch. Very, very young, but playing for Alexander out there in 6A. So she is one to watch. And then we got to go to hoops. Some major news on the hoop scale. Gonna talk about Wesleyan real quick. Like I said, they're a nationally ranked team, having a really good season. They picked up a big region win against Galloway recently. So they're having a big year. They won 61-53. Galloway's usually a really, really good team. But led them in scores Brianna Preston. She had 17 points, 4 boards, followed by Jay Potter with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and then Shadasia had 10 points, 7 steals, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. So 3 scores in double figures in that one. So they picked up a big win a few days ago as well. So that's going to be a team to watch come postseason. I think postseason is going to be really, really interesting for them. They have one of the, like I said, the better teams. And then I want to give a shout out to Taylor County sophomore Alasia Montgomery. She won Girls Region Player of the Year award. She's having a phenomenal season for their program and just absolutely balling out. So wanted to give her a shout out to in basketball. And then we had some news around Darlington Lady Tigers. They had another big defensive effort. They took down Armucci 53-30. And they advanced to the region championship, which will be tonight at 7 p.m. versus Treon. So Alex Ferrer was there. He reported on it. So a big win for them. Darlington so far this year, they're having a really good season. Let's look and see. Yeah, so they are currently, like I said, number 2, but going to be battling for a region championship. They're 10-2 in their region, 14-10 overall. So tough non-region schedule, but yeah, they play Treon tonight. So that's going to be an intriguing matchup between those two. Treon is 19-6. But yeah, that's big, man. You got to think about it. Obviously, if you're a 2 seed, you'll get to host the 3 seed, but you got to think about it. If you're a 1 seed, if they can secure that, the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, you will play at home instead of the second round playing on the road. So big time game between these two tonight. And she is going to be one, or they're going to be one to watch. Big time victory for them. So that is tonight in the Hoop News. Also had another big game as well between Buford and Central Gwinnett. Buford was able to win that one. They struggled a little bit. It was a closer victory probably than they would have liked. 56-50 win. And that one kind of struggled out the gates. But Ava Grace Watson, she was big yet again for them. She hit 6 of 8 of her shots and 16 points in the first quarter of that win. But kind of down the stretch wasn't as hot as she was. She was held scoreless from the field over the final 3 quarters. And it almost nearly sparked a fourth quarter comeback for the Black Knights. But like I said, they were able to survive. And in Central Gwinnett, like I said, they made it a game in the fourth. They started the fourth quarter with the 6-0 run and cut the lead down to just 6 points with 5 minutes left. And then that forced a timeout. And it was highlighted by sophomore guard. She's going to be one to watch too. Nalani Gainey and junior guard Carissa Rendial. They both scored. Of the 50 points, they scored 35. So they had a really dominant, really good effort in that one to kind of make that a game. But they're able to win it. And now they're going to face Mill Creek. So like I said, Mill Creek has one of the top girls on their team. We talked about it a couple shows ago on the basketball realm. So they're going to play tomorrow night for the region championship. Should be a good game. Like I said, Buford remains undefeated in the region play. But Mill Creek looks like they'll try to have something to say when it comes to that. But they are also having a very, very strong year. They are 18-6 so far this year and 7-3, in the region. So big time game between those two, and that would be the championship game for the 1 seed. So that would be one to watch, one to know. We'll probably react to it next week. All right, so more hoop news. As you guys know, all region selections have been going out all week for these top programs. But I thought this was so cool for Creekside. Again, young talent just emerging and playing at high levels. So you had 2027, what's her name, CC Davis of Creekside. So she was named Region Player of the Year as a freshman. So she had a strong season. This season she averaged 24 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 steals per game. So that is a very, very good season for her. I think she has a very bright future. And just look at the talent she was able to kind of achieve this year. 560 points, 162 assists, 153 rebounds, and 115 steals. So she's already halfway past that, or halfway towards 1,000 points as just a freshman. So she could easily break that 1,000-yard mark next season, especially has another one like this. I mean, I think she's going to be big time for them. So to win the Region Player of the Year as just a freshman, that is no small feat. So wanted to give her just due. I mean, that is pretty awesome. And it's an update on the Creekside program, 17-7, a winning season for them, 12-4 in the region, and they have a big time region game tomorrow night at 6 against Lithia Springs. So that will be a big game for them. And they did pretty good, like ending the season. They finished 3-4, won 3 of their last 4 games. The recent loss was to Maynard Jackson, but having a really good year. 17-7 should be a playoff team. So wanted to give her a shout out. It's not easy to win a Region Player of the Year as only a freshman. So wanted to give her a shout out. And then also congrats to junior Annie Deschelle and sophomore Gabito. I'm gonna say her last name is very long. But they were named All Region, and also shout out to freshman Ella McDaniel for picking up honorable mention for official GHSA Region 6 Division 1. So they have been balling, and they also second straight All Region selection for Denshel and O's first one. So shout out to them also for being named to the All Region teams. So there was a big game this past weekend. You had GAC, who already locked up the region, and we're going to highlight some of their players. But Kell was able to go in there and get a big victory. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I thought GAC with their team, if you go in with a sweep, they actually hosted this game, but they were able to come in there and get a big time victory, 53-39 victory against GAC. On the road, that's no small feat. And it looks like kind of from the field, GAC struggled a little bit. Their best player, Mila Benton, was only 4 for 14 from the field. And then their sophomore outstanding guard, Asiah Thompson, had 24, but 36% from the field. So big time win for Kell. I thought they already kind of were locked into that seed that they were in, but to come on the road and beat the top team in that region, I think says a lot. But all region selections for Greater Atlanta Christian this year, as I said, their best player, Mila Benton, was named Player of the Year for 5A Region 6. So shout out to her, having a really, really great year. And then also All Region, we just talked about her. Asiah Johnson also won All Region for the basketball program. And then honorable mention All Region was Kobe Obi as well. And then obviously we had her on the show before, head coach for GAC. She won Coach of the Year. Coach G, I'm going to call her Coach G because the last name's kind of hard to pronounce. But Coach G was able to win Coach of the Year. So I think it's a great turnaround. I mean, compared to what they were last year, kind of a struggle year, you could say, for GAC. But we're able to kind of, go through it. They're known for a program of winning. And as I said in my story, I thought it was a big-time matchup between these two. GAC won a title in 2020, and then Kell won one last year. So some of the top, teams the last few years in basketball. So shout out to Coach G, just being able to kind of have that talent come in. Mila Benton maturing a lot, I think, and getting even better. And then having a young sophomore come in and be one of your top scorers, I think that's no slight feat. So I think this year they have a couple more players they can depend on and lean on in those key situations. And to get, the region regular season tournament and to win it, I think is big time. So we'll see if they can win the region tournament. But I thought she did a good job of just where that team was last year to being where they are this year and being able to win the regular season title, I think is big time. So we'll see who comes out on top in the tournament. But shout out to Coach G for what she did with that program after last season. That's a big shout out to her. But we got some major matchups this week as far as lacrosse. Obviously, you guys know it is lacrosse season. My rankings drop tomorrow. But big matchup. So I really wanted to highlight this one. But Blessed Trinity versus West Forsyth. So just a little bit about these teams. Blessed Trinity had an awesome year. They're kind of like Milton in a sense. Milton has been more dominant. As I said, they have the most state championships with 16. But Blessed Trinity has had another dominant run as well. They have won 5 of the last 6 championships, and they've also three-peated. So they have been a top team, and last year they made it to the state championship game. They won it all. They beat a very, very, very good Roswell team. So I think this is a good test for West Forsyth, right? West Forsyth, same thing, made it all the way to state championship. Unfortunately, they lost to Milton in a very close game, and I think this is a true test to see how good they are this year. And Blessed Trinity, I think, is the class of 5A through 6A with what they've been able to do, the talent they've been able to produce, and how they play at a high level. So some players to watch in this one, I definitely think is, let's see, for West Forsyth, watch out for Kate Cummings. She is currently committed to Kennesaw State, and Piper Knapp, she's going to Young Harris, a really good program out there. And then Blessed Trinity, watch for Morgan Hansdale from Xavier, and then Clark Hamilton, she's going to Florida, another really good program. Jordan Smith, she's going to Butler, and then Riley Smith is also going to Butler. So those are going to be some top players to watch. And last week they picked up a big win, excuse me, against Walton, 13-7 win that kind of, excuse me, opened the season. So Walton is a team that a lot of people highlighted as having like a better year this year in girls lacrosse. So to come out with that win, I think said a lot. But like I said, year in, year out, Blessed Trinity is always, very, very, very good. So let's see, kind of just look at their first couple games of the year, see what else they have on tap. But they're going to get some good tests, I think. And they're always one of the better teams in the state. So they're going to play at West Forsyth. So they have that going for them tonight. West Forsyth will host the game. And then they play Pope, Pace, always a pretty good team in Class A through 4A. Also on their schedule, they play Fellowship Christian. That's March 12th, a little bit towards mid of the season. But then they play a pretty good team out of state, Charlotte Catholic, another top team to watch for as well. And then North Paulding and Johns Creek, the last couple of games of the season. Johns Creek is off to an electric start right now. They're 3-0. They just got a big victory against Lambert yesterday, 11-5. In that one, Lambert is another team that had a really strong year last year, but picking up that win. So Johns Creek, I think, is a team to watch in 5A, 6A. They might have something to say. Them as well, 19 points in the first game, 18 in the second, and then they scored 11 goals yesterday. So they're having a strong season as well. And then for Blessed Trinity, a close win against Mill Creek. I think Mill Creek in 7A is going to be a team to kind of watch. 12-11 gave them a really strong opener, really strong debut, and like I said, they picked up the one against Walton, 13-7. So I think that's a marquee matchup between those two teams. And like I said, it's kind of a ranking settler in my opinion. Blessed Trinity, they're my number 1. 2 would be Roswell. So I don't think even if they lost, like they would fall down a lot. They probably would still be a top 3 team. But for West Forsyth, they're like my number 2, number 3 team. So, how will they look? Will it be a close game? Or, will it be one is kind of, dominant over the other? So that's going to be one to watch tonight. And obviously, that'll go a little bit into my rankings for tomorrow. All right. So another big matchup I think people probably not talking about enough will be Lakeside DeKalb versus North Oconee. I think it's another big-time early matchup between – or actually, they played yesterday, excuse me. So in that one, North Oconee was able to win. They're 3-0 so far this season. And I think their offense, I'm going to talk about them real quick. Their offense is on another level. In 2 of the first 3 games, they've scored over 20 goals in those games. Defensively, they also pitched 2 shutouts so far this year. So a team probably not a lot of people are talking about, but they're having, a very strong season. And Lakeside DeKalb had a strong start too. They were 2-0 so far early in the year, but they were able to win that 16-6. So a team that was scoring a lot of goals in Lakeside only held them to 6 points. I thought was pretty big in that one. So they're going to play their rival in a couple days, in 2 days on Thursday against Oconee County. So that'll be interesting as well. They have Lakeside Evans also on the schedule. North Oconee does. And then Evans is always a really good team. Buford. And then Wesleyan to kind of end the season. So some top teams, they're going to get tested. Be interesting to see how they kind of perform on that one. Lakeside DeKalb, they got some really good players that can attack. They were kind of limited in that game, but they got some strong players. Regan Flanagan's one of them. She's currently committed to Alabama Huntsville. I think she's a marquee player to watch for this year. She had 4 goals in that game, and she had a really efficient shot on goal percentage. So of the six goals that she shot, she hit 4 of them. So that's a 66% or 67% shot on goal. So that is impressive. That's not easy to do. And also their freshman, probably not being talked about enough, but Megan Gurion, she had 2 goals in this game, and Mary Roman, she had 2 assists for Lakeside to cap. So I think they're going to be a stronger team this year, and I think they're going to be one to watch. And I think they have a really, really good attack. So they're going to have a strong chance to prove it. And Class A 4A, last year Pace Academy won it all. I think Norfolk Coney is going to have something to say this year, and they've been playing very, very strong. So I think Class A 4A with Pace, Wesleyan, Westminster, got to throw in Norfolk Coney in there. I say those are some top contenders in those classifications. I think they're going to be very intriguing to watch, to say the least, man. But that's going to conclude it for this segment. We got one more, my top 5, before we close out the show.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me, can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, welcome back, guys. So, just real quick before we go into top 5, just want to give a couple quick score updates. Alex Ferrer, like I said, does a good job with the sports. So he is currently for the Region 7A Division 1 tournament. Our Moochie girls leading Dade County right now 10-8 after the first quarter. That's the 3rd place game, so that is important. Like I said, the 3 seed, those 2 are selling that out. So I just want to give a quick score update there. Some region tourney action going on right now. I'm trying to see if there's any other major news before we get to the top 5. Yeah, we talked about last year. They won their 5th straight. Let's see, give me one sec, guys. See if there's anything else on the Twitter sphere. All right, so I will point this out. I think this is big news as well. Craig pointed out on his show about Baldwin. I talked about a little bit last week of how great of a season they've been able to have. And I think the biggest question that we continued to have about them was, what kind of scoring could they get out of Janae Walker, outside of a Madison Ruff, outside of a Cassidy Neal, right? Leading them so far in scoring this year. Like I said, they all averaging double figures. Janae Walker's averaging 13.3. She's averaging 11 boards. And then Madison Ruff leads them, as your coach talks about, just an outstanding leader. She's averaging 16.6 so far this year. And then Cassidy Neal at 13.6. So I think the big key for them is going to be, obviously the shooters, right? So, as you mentioned, who's going to score outside of them. But I wanted to give some praise to Janae Walker. I mean, no slight feat. She was able to do something very, very magnificent. And she won Class 4A Region 2 Defensive Player of the Year. So that is big for her. Shout out to her. It's hard to score with them around the rim. I think, if you're going to beat Baldwin, it's going to be from the perimeter, right? You got to have girls that can shoot, that can space the floor, because when you try to come in that paint, it's tough for her defending at a high level like she does, and also Cassidy Neal as well. So it just makes it tough. And I want to give her a shout out. That is not easy to do, for her. But just a couple quick region honors. Their head coach won Coach of the Year, Coach Kissy Walker. Again, if you guys want to go back and look at that game, go on Scoreland YouTube when they played Norcross. I thought they had a really good second half running that game. But she won Coach of the Year. She does a great job with her adjustments and getting them to play at a high level. Madison Ruff, as I just mentioned, she won Player of the Year for Class 4A Region 2. So shout out to her as well. Janae Walker, as we mentioned just now, she won Defensive Player of the Year. First team All-Region, Cassidy Neal, outstanding job. And then Jasmine Williams, she was second team All-Region. And looks like Zakiria Pascal, she was third team All-Region this year. And then honorable mentions, 3 girls on here. You have Najeh, Canny, she won honorable mention. Looks like Jemiah Easley, she also won honorable mention. And then Morgan Ruff, who probably is Madison Ruff's sister, she was honorable mention as well. So they're going to be a team to watch out there in 4A, see if they can finish the job this year. I think this is one of their better teams. And just a quick look at their team so far this year. They're 22-2. As Craig mentioned, they have not lost since then. 12-0 in the region, setting a statement. Team they had to battle and face multiple times last year was Griffin. They handed Griffin those 2 losses in the region. So they are playing at a very, very high level as far as the last few games. Like I said, they have not lost since Norcross, so they are currently on, let's see. They're currently on a 19-game winning streak, so they're performing at a high level. And their last few, they're absolutely stifling opponents. Like their last, let's see, their last 7 games, if you just discount Lowndes, like they've held opponents under 50 points. So I mean, that's getting it done. Defensively, they're going to be a tough team to kind of score against. And I can't wait to see what they're able to do this postseason. But I think this is a team that can win it all. Coach talked about how hurt she was last season of not winning. She doesn't like to talk about it, but I think this year they got a strong team. And those shooters, those honorable mentions we mentioned, some of those girls that can space the floor, that's going to be crucial in them hosting it and winning it all. So shout out to them. Hopefully they're able to come through and can win the title. So I wanted to give them a special shout out. Really great program, great coach, great culture, great coach, and great coaching staff. So I wanted to give them a shout out. But let's move to my top 5, Najeh's top 5, just biggest headlines. I think around just girls sports. One, and is the headliner is we made a very big announcement yesterday. Go back and look at the article on squaretl.com for flag football. I think it is a special honor. Just being able to put this on a big platform. We seen it last year with GPB televising the flag football championships to kind of start the state championships for football. But it is getting even more notice. So I think it's a rapidly growing sport, not just here in the state of Georgia, not just even in the country, but I think globally as well. If you go look in 2028 for the Olympics are this year, guys, if you didn't know, but it is going to be a sanctioned sport. So you're going to have some flag football as well. So it is becoming a big sport here, not just, like I said, here, but also globally. So let's go over some of the main things you got to watch for. So per the story, there will be a flag football 707 Invitational on June 19th. That will be after the Corky Kell for the boys at Georgia Tech. This will be on June 19th. Will be at West Forsyth High School. Let's see. They're also going to have the girls at the July 31st and August 1st Media Day. So that is another good addition as well. If you guys didn't know, we had our first inaugural high school media day last year. It was a huge success. So they're going to have the initial one at IBEW Warehouse, and then August 1st will be in Macon. So that's going to pretty much follow up each other. As soon as they have that one, it will be off to Macon for some other programs. Girls teams will be at both. Also, they're going to be at the Corky Kell lunches. If you guys don't know, have a luncheon every year to kind of kick off the season. Talk about some of the players, top players usually for AJC, and then talk about some of the teams, what players they're going to have this year, a little bit about them. And like I said, we have, if you haven't seen it, go look on squaretl.com. All of the teams that are in there, some new additions this year: Hebron Christian, South Paulding, some major teams in there, Cedar Grove, Douglas County, or some major new teams in there, Alpharetta in Houston County. So it is going to be interesting to see that luncheon as well. But the official, I think this is another cool tidbit to it. October 2nd, that is the official kind of mark of the season for girls flag football. It will be televised. I think that's pretty cool. We're still waiting on the location to be announced. But I think that's pretty cool for the girls to be televised and something to kind of hold as a memory, I think, on a sport that's rapidly growing. And then also, if you guys didn't know, another great tradition is Georgia Elite Classic, right? That is the top kind of players in the state. You know, Rusty and the board member committee, they kind of, select the players who's going to go. But now that will be coming to girls flag football. So basically one big event. So have it. Will be very intriguing to kind of see the players they're going to select to kind of go, and the girls that will be participating as well. I think that is a pretty cool and huge honor, great for TV and great for exposure. And I think you're going to see more scholarships going out on the collegiate level with this, just for the sport of flag football. And I think this is big. This is just, like I said, film you can show throughout. You got your Corky Kell film and huddle, and then you'll have the end of the year at the Elite Classic. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I know they want to get some of the top teams in there that were able to win it all. And if you guys don't know, just give you a quick update of the past champions. Right now we have kind of a dynasty going on in flag football. I think it is Southeast Bullock. I think they've won 3 consecutive, but let me confirm just to make sure. Yes, so Class A through 4A, they have won 3 consecutive state championships. They won recently this past year. 5A through 6A has been very, very competitive. A new person or a new team every year. 2021 was Dodge County. 2022 was Lithia Springs, and then 2023 was Greenbrier. And then 7A, you had Hillgrove, Blessed Trinity, and then Pope. So those two have kind of been more kind of, competitive. I would say kind of more parity. But Southeast Bullock has a dynasty brewing right now since 21. The first champion was Calvary Day, so they have been playing magnificent right now. I'm sure they're going to be in the tournament and also probably in the Corky Kell kickoff for that. So I think it's a big addition, as I mentioned before, and I think it's going to be really intriguing to kind of see how it's going to all play out. But yeah, that story is on scoretl.com. That was written by Max, so go check that out. Excuse me. I think that would be a very entertaining tournament. Great job putting it together. And just the Georgia League Classic games are going to take place on December 26th, 27th. And then, so you're interested to see where they hold that at. It says the boys' portion will commence in Rome on December 26th to 28th. So I think that is going to be intriguing to kind of see how that is going to play out. And then real quick, just a little bit more on the flag football season opening on October 2nd. Looks like open day matchup expected to include Greenbrier, the reigning champs of Class 5 through 6A, who will play Class 7A runner-up Alatoona at 5:30. Looks like that's going to be the first game, and then the following game is expected to feature 3-time champion Southeast Bullock versus Blessed Trinity at 6:30. At 7:30, Class A through 4A runner-up Northrop Colony will be playing against Lithia Springs, and the event will wrap up with Class 7A defending champion Pope going up against the host West Forsyth at 8:30. So that is a little bit about it. Go to ScoreTL for the full breakdown, but that is my headliner. That was the big news that broke yesterday. You can go there and read the full details about it. All right, number 2 for me, I just did her tell the tape. Can't wait to see kind of how her game progresses, right? Asiah Thompson, as I mentioned, she made second team all-region. Looked at the tape, again, a very bright future. Talked a little about the onslaught, but just her ability to get to the rim with ease. I like to, sometimes you see players kind of over-dribble, but she's doing one dribble and then she's getting to her sweet spot. I think the question will be kind of how does she shoot? I haven't seen her in person yet, but I can't wait to see kind of just that part of her game and how she's able to kind of space the floor. But I think as far as getting downhill to the rim and creating pressure on the defense, I think is very, very big for her. So wanted to give her a shout out at number 2. She's doing amazing stuff with Kell, and like I said, getting second team all region as a freshman, that is no small feat. So wanted to give her a shot. I think she's going to be a player to watch for years to come for Kell. And then number 3 was Woodward Academy. So in wrestling, on the boys' side, they had 11, but they got 6 girls that were able to qualify for the 6A state traditional championships. That's going to begin this Thursday, so in 2 days. So shout out to them and their girls being able to make it to the traditional swimmings as well. I thought that was super, super dope for them. So shout out to them. That is number 3 for me. And then got to give another shout out to the varsity girls, the Mount Paran soccer. They won their first regular season match against Hebron Christian 3-0. Goals were scored by looks like Schwartz, M. Hill, and then E. Smith. Schaefer had 2 assists. Their goalkeeper, Owen, she had 10 saves to achieve her first shutout of the season. So that is absolutely getting it done. It's not easy to do. But so far this season, they're 2-2. They had to play Fellowship Christian last night. Unfortunately, lost that game. Were shut out. And that one, their first shutout of the season. It was a 2-0 victory for Fellowship. Let's see if we can get any stats on that.
Sarah Schwartz, 100th career goal.
Yep, I was just about to point that out. Thank you, Craig. Yes, so yes, Cheryl Schwartz, that was her 100th goal. I was going to definitely point that out as well. I mean, that's not easy to do in soccer. And she hits the incredible milestone. Kind of just emphasizes her skill and dedication to the sport. But shout out to her. I mean, she's having a very strong start to the season. And You know, they're 2-2, but I think they played some tough opponents. Whitefield Academy's always had a pretty good soccer team. They lost that second game, and then Fellowship Christian as well. And they're going to resume next week against Mount Pisgah, followed by North Cobb Christian. So, so far, that's your season, 2-2 against Sarah Schwartz, as Craig pointed out, having a fantastic year. She is at 100 goals so far this year. So we'll see how they rebound. I think that would be a interesting test to see kind of how they come out after that loss. All right. And then number 5 for me, got to give a shout out to Brooke Suttle. She's recently named Region Player of the Year for the second year on the road, 2024 player for her team. She's also named Female Athlete of the Week for, I think it was Brooks County a few weeks back. She surpassed 1,000 points in her career. So that is getting it done. That's how you do it. So I wanted to give her a special shout out as well at number 5. So I think that would be very intriguing to see. So shout out to her for just her awesomeness and being able to kind of, you know, achieve those big time results as well. So that will be intriguing to see. Before we wrap up, see if I see any other major news as well. One more quick scoring update. Our Muji Girls lead 21-13 at the half. That was just updated on X, so wanted to point that out as well. But before we wrap, see if I see any other major news on the girls' side. Let's see. All right, so I just mentioned them. They got another big game tonight. Looks like it's going to be the Lady Leopards. They got a region semifinal match tonight. Let's see. They're going to be playing against. It's going to be at Banks County. I'm trying to see who they're playing. It doesn't really say. Let's look up their schedule. It doesn't really say. Okay, they got a matchup. Okay, there it is. Couldn't really tell by the logo. So they're going to play Providence Christian Academy, who's 17-7 this year. That is the region semifinal for tonight at 7:30. So big time game for them. 21-4, like I said, having a strong season for Banks County. They got 4 scores so far this year in double figures. Seegers, Murphy, Horde, and other Murphy as well. But yeah, 12, 11.3, 11, and 10.6. So 4 basically scores that can score at a high level for them so far this year. Their only losses 10-0 in the region. They lost to Calhoun, Stars Mill, Commerce, and then Fort Walton Beach was an out-of-state loss. So really strong season ever since then. They have been on a hot win streak. Gave us a really, really great battle against Union County late January in an overtime game, but were able to pull it out with a big-time victory against them. But they're undefeated, having a strong year, and they will be able to test against Providence Christian, who's 17-7 so far this year. So that's all I got for today on the girls' side. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Same thing. I see it's been a success on the boys' side as far as just having people send in their film. So if you can, whatever sport it is, if it's soccer, if it's basketball, lacrosse, send in your film. Don't mind taking a look at it and kind of giving my thoughts. But that's going to conclude the show for today. Appreciate everyone tuning in. That's my top 5. Again, go to scoretl.com for all the latest updates and also to the flag football. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And I will see you guys on Thursday. And Craig will be back for a show tomorrow with Harrison's new head coach. So that's all I got for today. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good one.